It's Tuesday, the 22nd of September 2020. Hello and welcome to Joy News at 6 with me, Emmanuel Koranteng. The news is live on Joy 99.7 FM and hits 103.9 FM on Love 99.5 in Kumasi, affiliate across the country and worldwide at myjoyonline.com. More than 46,000 COVID-19 cases, 58 new and 297 deaths so far. COVID is real. Wear a mask and stay safe. Coming up this morning, nurses and midwives continue their strike over conditions of service today, despite warnings from the National Labour Commission that they will cite them for contempt for defying court orders to halt the action.
Well, as long as they remain on strike, that is the only option available to us.
Would you be citing them for contempt?
That is the only remedy if they continue with the strike.
We'll bring you details as strike begins to bite, with patients being turned away at some facilities. Also, Electoral Commission dismisses claims by opposition NDC that it is deliberately deleting names at its stronghold in ongoing exhibition exercise. Defending champions St. Augustine's College, Prempeh College, Wesley Girls High School, St. Peter's SHS amongst 81 schools in Accra for the elimination stage of the National Science and Maths Quiz.
Oh, I'm expecting the competition to get keener because you have some of the big names in NSMQ history now joining. So there's going to be a lot more excitement.
And in business,
some global banks with presence in Ghana cited for allowing criminals to move monies around in the nation's financial system. We've got details on the Joy Business Report later.
Plus, we'll tell you why the Accra Regional Police Commander is asking his men to have less sex ahead of elections in December. For the details now, and nurses and midwives are continuing their strike across the country today despite warnings by the National Labour Commission. Their action is in breach of court orders. The strike began yesterday with some patients being turned away at health facilities. In one instance, a pregnant woman in Tamale who had pain in her abdomen and vomiting blood was simply asked to go away. Take a listen to some patients who were turned away yesterday.
We came early, so we met the doctor and they prescribed her drugs and they were asking her what is wrong with her. She was able to speak and she was feeling difficult in breathing. So those the nurses, those were in the night, they attended them this morning and gave them their medication and left. Since then, we didn't see any nurses or any doctor in the patient's rooms again. So they are there suffering. We don't know what we're going to do.
The bedroom, yes, the doctor's got strike. Me who ye nene ye tu so mo se memra review. The doctor's got strike dia yet hanti ye be kofi anon.
Meanwhile, the National Labour Commission has served notice it will head to court today to compel the nurses to call off the strike. Though the National Labour Commission has secured an injunction to halt the industrial action, the striking nurses maintain they have not been officially served. David Tinkranchum is General Secretary of the association.
Can we defy the orders of the court? What we expect them to do is to do the right thing. They must do the right thing. They have the powers of the High Court. Why didn't they write to us as Labour Commission to restrain us from embarking on this journey instead of going to the High Court to secure injunction? It is just an intimidatory ploy, and we will not be intimidated.
But Executive Secretary of the Commission, Ofosu Asamoah, tells Joy News the leadership of the nurses is disrespecting the court.
We wanted to serve Perpetua, their president, or he, the general secretary. And both of them were evading service. So we had to serve it on the administrator, who came out and said that he is under instructions. He works under instructions. What the instructions, specific instructions were, we don't know. But what he said is that he will not take it. I spoke to him in person.
Executive Secretary of the National Labour Commission, Ofosu Asamoah, there. Stay tuned to Joy News for our continued coverage of the situation. Now, the Electoral Commission has dismissed claims by the opposition NDC that it is deliberately deleting names of voters from the party stronghold. The EC has since September 18 been engaged in voters' exhibition exercise. The party has been raising issues with this process, saying some polling stations have as many as 400 names missing from the register.
The opposition party says hundreds of voters cannot find their names in what it believes to be a deliberate election rigging plot.
Our observations show widespread anomalies at various exhibition centers across the country. This has already given us cause to believe that the anomalies and distortions in the register may be deliberate.
The party also claims some registration of voters is still ongoing despite the exercise ending weeks ago.
EC officials were caught on video late at night, printing and laminating an unspecified number of voter ID cards.
NDC's Director of Elections, Elvis Ifriankra, ending that report today. Our Director of Electoral Services at the Electoral Commission, Dr. Emmanuel Koranteng, says the claims are false.
In the course of registration, we identified that some of the kits generated duplicate IDs. So those who were able to identify them early enough, we did the corrections and gave them the new cards. But some of them came some days after the registration. So what we did was to rectify them through the issue of new ID cards. We gave them to the districts to laminate them and give them out.
The party also alleges there are some polling stations where more than 200 names have vanished from the register.
We are dealing with machines and transfers and others. So more or less, we have to replace almost all the registers that we printed initially.
Dr. Emmanuel Koranteng is Director of Electoral Services at the EC. Now, President Akufo-Addo is also the chairperson of ECOWAS, has committed to ensure that the sub-regional body assists member states going to the polls this year avert electoral crises. Guinea, Cote d'Ivoire, Burkina Faso, Niger, and Ghana all go to the polls before the end of the year. Speaking in Nigeria while visiting the offices of the ECOWAS Commission, President Akufo-Addo says the countries will get the needed support for free, fair, and peaceful elections.
Inasmuch as our institutions are strong, we need to enhance their capacities to enable them to deliver on their mandate. All necessary support for the enhancement of the capacities of the Constitution, community institutions must be forthcoming. A well-functioning ECOWAS rebounds to the benefit of each of its member states.
President Akufo-Addo there. On the campaign trail, former President John Mahama is promising to establish a cashew board to help promote the cultivation, processing and marketing of cashew in the country. In 2018, Ghana made $378 million from the sale of 110 tons of raw cashew nuts. Addressing a deb of chiefs and people in Charania, Wenchi, in the Bono region, Mr. Mahama said the next NDC government will focus on value addition to the cashew crop.
The foreigners come to buy the nuts at a cheap price and go to add value to it and sell them back to us at a higher price. They get all the value added revenue, while we get just a little. So just like we have the cocoa board, we will establish a cashew board to assist in the promotion and marketing of the cashew.
President John Dramani Mahama there speaking in the Bono region. Now, defending champions St. Augustine's College, Prempeh College, Wesley Girls High School, last year's finalists St. Peter's SHS, and other qualified second cycle institutions have arrived in Accra for the elimination stage of the National Science and Maths Quiz. Balloting for the 1-8 stage is scheduled for Wednesday, 23rd September 2020. Maxwell Agbagba has more in this report.
27 seeded schools made up of defending champions Ogasco, Prempeh College, Presec Legon, Wesley Girls High School, Adisadel College, Achimota School, St. Peter's SHS, Accra Academy, Upokuwari School and more will all be moving to the University of Ghana campus to join the contest from the elimination stage. This is by virtue of their qualification to the quarterfinals of last year's competition. They'll be joined by the 40 preliminary winners like Infantipem School, Thomas Aquinas SHS, Archbishop Porter Girls SHS, Bishop Herman College, Holy Child School, Anglican SHS Kumasi and more. All the schools are determined to earn the bragging rights. The gentleman from Bishop Herman College.
Time now for your Arrival Life tip, brought to you by Bedrock Insurance, Toyota Ghana and Logistic Movers. Now, minimizing lane changes and check your side mirrors at least once every 10 seconds. It is an effective way to increase safety and road awareness to ensure you arrive alive. Before I go, with 76 days to the general elections in December, the top hierarchy of the police service has been offering advice to the rank and file on how to effectively police the polls. This particular advice by the Accra Regional Police Commander, DCOP Afo Boachi Adam, has got this man talking.